Hello, hello, hello! Is everyone feeling sunshiny and bright today? This is Dyspraxic Gamer Girl presents Dyspraxia 101, a brief look at a little known disability. Since my channel is Dyspraxic Gamer Girl, I thought I should give you all some background on what that means. So here we go. Dyspraxia? You've probably never heard of it. Dyspraxia is a mental processing disorder. That means it affects all the information coming into your brain, what you see, hear, smell, all those five senses, and, additional senses that don't get talked about in the Animaniac. Well, actually, no, they do get talked about in the Animaniac song, but that's beside the point. Any input coming into your brain from the world, and then any input your brain is putting out as far as trying to move or talk or look at something, all of that's affected by your dyspraxia, if you have it. This means people with dyspraxia can sometimes seem slow or spacey because they can only focus on one thing at a time. So let's say I'm watching a show or reading a book, I'm not hearing anything around me. Or I may be doing something, then I feel something touch me. Now I'm focused on that and not seeing things around me. Dyspraxia shares a number of symptoms. Dyspraxia shares a number of symptoms with ADHD and ASD, which respectively are attention deficit hyperactive disorder and autism spectrum disorder. Dyspraxia is often misdiagnosed as ADHD because with dyspraxia, so much of your working memory is taken up by what immediate task you're doing or whatever you're focusing on. It can make you seem inattentive. So let's say a school example, you're listening to the teacher, or no, reverse that. You're taking notes, but that means you can't really listen to the teacher. So like, I've always hated taking notes because I get too focused on trying to write. I'll remember what was just said before I started writing. I won't hear what was said after that. And so then I don't know where to go from there. As far as symptoms it shares with autism, there can be a lot of sensory components to dyspraxia. So like, for example, if I feel a hair on me, I have to find it or I just will die. I cannot do anything else until it stops touching me. So what does that mean? It means people with dyspraxia, first of all, are not stupid. Dyspraxia in no way affects intelligence. People with dyspraxia are also not actively ignoring things in their environment. Myself, I can only focus, as I've said, on one thing at a time, or at least I can only focus on one thing at a time well. So like if I'm doing the dishes, I can't talk to anybody. I'm too focused on holding the thing and, using the sponge, making sure it's clean. If I try to talk to somebody, either my words kind of start to go, or I am not doing a good enough job with the task in my hands. Furthermore, people with dyspraxia are not inherently careless. I struggled a lot, especially when I was young, with kind of the amount of, force or maybe effort to do things. So like a good example is closing cabinets or putting down glasses. When I was young, I would have a lot of trouble doing that with the amount of force I wanted to. I often would end up either slamming the cabinet or I'd go to move my arm to close it and my arm would sort of tense and like spasm, but not actually do anything. I have to really focus on the movement in order to make it happen more than your average person. And that can make me seem like I'm not being careful enough if I go to do something, again, like close a door, put something down, and I don't have my full focus on that. I usually end up using too much force. But it's not because I'm, just trying to toss things around. So what are the keys to success in regards to dyspraxia, both for the people who have it and the people around them? First is patience. You have to be patient with yourself, and patience from the people around you helps a lot, because you need extra time in order to do things, or at least I do. Second is dedication. You have to really commit to what you're doing in the moment, in addition to committing to learning new things. Repetition. Like many things in life, practice makes perfect. When you want to learn a new task, you have to practice it. And that can be really frustrating when it feels like your peers are picking things up so much faster than you. But you have to remember that you can do it. It just may take a lot more time because you don't have those, motor skills. They're a little floppy. It just takes more time to train your body to do new motions, train your mind to follow new paths. And lastly, it's important to really stay calm, especially when the situation is frustrating. Because getting upset, I talked about working memory earlier, getting upset or stressed also uses up a lot of your working memory. So if you let yourself get too overwhelmed and you can only, and your brain's wired to only focus on one thing at a time, that becomes the only thing you can focus on. And then you're just sort of stuck in like hell. Your brain doesn't have any space to actually think of a solution. So if you can stay calm, then you can focus on actually finding a solution when, say, it's something as small as your hand goes to pick up a pen and you're just not gripping it, or something really big, like, to use a video game example, you're trying to learn how Melia's arts work with her elemental abilities in Xenoblade 1, which is something I am currently playing, and now that I understand it, I'm having a lot of fun with her as a character. So now you know. I hope this gives you a little more insight into what dyspraxia is and how it affects someone who has it. And if you enjoyed this, I hope you'll give my channel a try and watch me play some video games, despite my hands not always wanting to cooperate in that process. See you soon!